What's up, everybody? I'm Jessica, and today I want to talk to you about Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico! Puerto Rico!
Except we ain't having a party. Puerto Rico is in some deep caca right now. Like, deep.
Puerto Rico's governor says the island is in a death spiral.
Puerto Rico announced last month it simply cannot pay $72 billion in debt.
The island is currently in a serious economic crisis. So what gives me the credibility to make a video about this? Really, the only thing that does is the fact that I'm human and I give a damn. And I think, honestly, that's enough. Basics. Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth of the United States. Puerto Ricans are American citizens. They have a U.S. passport. They do not need to have a passport to go back and forth between the U.S. and Puerto Rico. I had to throw this little tidbit of information in because it doesn't seem like it's common knowledge for everyone, especially when people bugged out when New York-born Puerto Rican Mark Anthony performed at the MLB All-Star Game in 2013 and just went crazy, wondering why a Latino was actually singing God Bless America. Okay, so back to the economic crisis. Puerto Rico is currently in over $72 billion of debt.
72 billion.
There's no simple way of looking at how Puerto Rico amassed so much debt. One thing that continued to come up over and over again in my research was Section 936 of the Internal Revenue Code. Now basically, in 1976, the United States decided that they wanted to industrialize Puerto Rico. Section 936 was a tax incentive that allowed U.S. companies to set up shop on the island without having to pay federal taxes on any income earned in Puerto Rico. And by 1993, around 165,000 Puerto Ricans were employed in the approximately 300 companies that were benefiting from Section 936. So just so we're all on the same page so far, the U.S. set up this tax incentive. It benefited the Puerto Rican economy and Puerto Ricans, and of course there's a plot twist. When Bill Clinton was in office, his administration was looking for a way to relieve the American economy and get some more money back in the U.S. So of course Section 936 came up and it went on the chopping block. By 1996, the Clinton administration repealed Section 936, giving it a 10-year phase-out. At the time, Antonio Colorado Jr., Puerto Rico's former resident commissioner in Washington, condemned the repeal of Section 936, saying the seriously ominous, unfortunately freaking true statement, "It's the end and Puerto Rico will suffer." Suffer. That sounds painful. Maybe we should actually talk about this. The end of Section 936 and Puerto Rico's recession came in 2006. To help bring some money back into the economy, Puerto Rico started issuing some bonds. Now these bonds were like fly, so attractive, like you had to have them because they were tax-free on a local, state, and federal level. So people were like, gimme, gimme, gimme. By issuing the bonds, Puerto Rico kept things running, but they sold a little bit too much, and now they can't pay people back. And since Puerto Rico is just a Commonwealth, they can't declare bankruptcy like Detroit did in 2013. Now, declaring bankruptcy isn't some quick fix-it, but it would allow them to take their debtors to court to reduce the amount owed. So how bad are things on the island? Well, it's reported that nearly a doctor a day leaves Puerto Rico. About 10% of schools have closed, and hospitals are closing. Sales tax has risen from 7% to 11.5%. The government has laid off tens of thousands of public employees, and Puerto Ricans are leaving the island in record numbers. Puerto Rico's future is now at the mercy of American politicians.
No! God, please, no!
In early June, Congress passed the Promesa bill, which would appoint a federal oversight committee to figure out how Puerto Rico can pay back its debts and dig itself out of this hole. Hopefully, the representatives of this committee will be concerned about the future and well-being of Puerto Ricans, and not advocating on behalf of the vulture funds who are trying to benefit and make money off of the pain and suffering of Puerto Ricans. The next step is for the Senate to pass the bill and then the President can sign it into law. Promesa is definitely a point of contention, and not everyone is happy about the U.S. continuing to meddle in Puerto Rican affairs, but some do see it as a necessary evil. If Promesa doesn't pass in the Senate, Puerto Rico will default on a $1.9 billion payment on July 1st. All eyes need to remain on the U.S. government during this time. And if there is an oversight committee put in charge of handling Puerto Rico's debt, they need to be held accountable. Hedge funds have had their hands in the back pockets, probably front pockets, of our politicians for long enough. There has to be a commitment to making sure more people are not taken advantage of just for someone else's financial gain. Alright, that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, this is just the beginning. I don't care if you are Puerto Rican or if you're not. You're a human, and there are other humans that are in need and need you to just be woke and be aware of what is happening to an area that many of you are like, I would love to go to Puerto Rico one day. Well, when you go and you see all the stores boarded up, you're gonna be like tight, because that's not what you wanted in your Instagram shop. What? Shit's gotta change. All right, that's it. Let me stop talking, because I can just, and then you're gonna be like, I'm done.